No. No. No.
The General Affairs Committee, you are recognized to open on LB 638.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the body. The General Affairs Committee introduced LB 638 on behalf of the Department of Revenue. The changes are not extensive, but will help the department perform more efficiently. This bill does three basic things. First, it will allow investigators with the Department of Revenue to have law enforcement authority concurrent with the Nebraska State Patrol's Alcohol and Tobacco Enforcement Division. Second, the bill would allow the Department of Revenue to authorize bingo more than once in 1 week at a certain location. Currently, the Nebraska Bingo Act restricts the use of a premise to twice a week for regular bingo occasions. This would allow an organization to request authorization from the department to exceed the premise limitations for bingo when it is advantageous for several nonprofit organizations to use the same location. Third, the bill would make technical divisions to the charitable gaming statutes and clean up several obsolete statutes on charitable gaming licensing. This is necessary due to the legislative change that was fully implemented in LB 1086.
Availability of, but I will simply vote against this amendment, and should this amendment be adopted, I plan to vote against the bill because even though there are values to the bill that I wholeheartedly concur with, I don't necessarily want to be a part of the process if it includes the process or the conscious decision to further expand of gambling as a viable tool to Nebraskans, because I believe there are some sincere and realistic obstacles that creates for us as a state. Notwithstanding the benefits that it does create, it does fund some programs in the state such as scholarships, environmental, and other areas that we as a state benefit from. But I can't put that horse back in the barn, but I can prohibit it from running away freely. Thank you, Mr. President.
When it comes to gambling, I can probably be classed as a prude. There have to be a lot of suckers who lose in order for a few suckers to win. But the suckers who win usually have lost so much that they're not going to recoup what they had lost. And I think it is terrible for the state to take action to encourage more citizens to engage in this losing activity.
We need more incentives to sell lottery tickets. I don't think I have to have an incentive to buy a lottery ticket for Mr. Whiteman here. I've been one of those suckers in the past. And have I ever won? No. And guess what? They come to these small easy stops and everything when they start giving these away to people who are just barely old enough to buy lottery tickets. So you can get them free. Did I ever win on a free ticket? No. No. No.
If 100 people buy these lottery tickets, each one buys one, you have 1 in 100 chances of winning. If 1,000 people buy the tickets, you have 1 in 1,000 chances. So the more people you encourage to play the lottery, the lesser chance a person has of winning. Isn't that true?
Well, I suppose that could be argued both ways, Senator. The more you play it, I believe that your chances of winning are going up.
But here is old, wily, clever, and when I say old, no reference to age, Senator McDonald, who listened to what I said and decided to trap me in my words. But I'm not being trapped completely because, as Senator Jansen pointed out, I will have another year to try to get rid of this entire thing, which probably is not going to happen. But I'm going to fight against it because I do not think the state should be encouraging gambling. Mr. President, members of the legislature, Senator McDonald is very willing to work our way through this, so I'm not going to delay us at this point. I will allow the bill to go ahead to select file, and by the time it comes up again, there will then be the opportunity to further discuss this if it's necessary. But at this point, I will turn my light off, and thank you.
30 yeas, 2 nays, Mr. President, on the advancement of the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. LB 638 does advance.